Hello, everybody. Welcome to Staring Down the Darkness. I'm Danny. If this is your first time here, please do me a favor and consider hitting the subscribe button down below. It doesn't cost you anything, and you'll get access to all my videos. Also, if you like the video, please hit the thumbs up down below. That helps me out a lot. And if you hit the bell next to the subscribe button, you'll get notifications of future videos that I may put out in the near future. Today, since it's Thanksgiving, or close to it, I want to start a little conversation about the holidays and the holiday blues. And I'm going to make this the Thanksgiving edition of it. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my experiences on Thanksgiving and how I feel nowadays about it, as opposed to how I previously felt about it when I was younger. Now, as someone who has had depression my entire life, holidays have always been a little tricky for me. When I was younger, it wasn't as bad because I could see my friends, I could see my family, and there was always, a bunch of fun going around and that type of thing. So, it didn't really upset me or get me into a melancholy mood as much as it does now. Thanksgiving time, middle of November especially, because as I said in one of my other videos, it's about 11 years ago this month that I lost both my parents unexpectedly right at Thanksgiving holiday. We were planning to have Thanksgiving with my family, and my sister and I were coordinating who was going to bring what and that type of thing. And one day on the 15th of November, it was a Saturday, I got a message that my sister wanted me to call her. And when I called her, she said, "I hate to say this, but we lost Mom last night." My mom was diabetic. She was in her 80s. So we knew the day was coming. But she was sitting in her chair at night and just passed away in the middle of the night. She had insomnia, as do I. And she was up, sitting and just reading her book. And my dad got up in the middle of the night and noticed she wasn't there and checked on her, and she said she was fine, go back to bed. And when he got back up the next morning, he found her dead in the chair. And so they were married for 55 years, something like that. So as soon as we got home from her funeral, he started feeling bad. And he stayed in bed most of the day and the next day, and he said he just didn't feel good. He didn't feel right. And so we took him to the emergency room and they checked him in, and he ended up dying exactly 2 weeks later on what would have been her birthday. I think he just missed her. I think he died of a broken heart. So this time of year has a little extra baggage for me. I remember the gatherings of family and all back in the day, and I work retail now. So we open on Thanksgiving, and so I don't really get any family time or anything like that on Thanksgiving now. And I think it's a blessing and a curse because I can work the Black Friday, Black Thursday, whatever you want to call it, crowd, and it keeps me busy enough that my mind doesn't wander into dark places. And sometimes I know some of you guys may find that helpful as well, just as a distraction to keep your mind off of things. So I think if I didn't work retail, as much as I dislike it, if I didn't work retail, I may have a harder time during the holidays because I will have too much time to think about what's not here anymore and who's not here anymore. So I know a lot of you have lost loved ones and miss people during these holidays and think about people that you've lost. I want to give a shout out and a recommendation to my friend Britta Albert, who put up a really, really good video about missing loved ones during the holidays. And I'm going to encourage you to check it out. I'm going to put the link up here to it. Just click on it and check it out. She has a wonderful channel. She's a life coach, and she has great insight on how to deal with certain things like this. So I highly recommend you check her out. So anyway, with me, I think about how I'm going to get through it. And when I'm not working, it can be hard because if I don't keep myself distracted, my mind will think about things like that. I think the best thing you can do is just try to realize that you're living here now and appreciate the times you had as wonderful memories. Or if you haven't had a good family life and Thanksgiving has not been good to you over the years and it brings back bad memories, also remember you're living right now. You're not living back then. And you can start a new chapter and move forward starting this year. We have to be supportive of each other no matter which way it goes. There's going to be people that you see over Thanksgiving, family members, friends, whatever, that will not understand what you're feeling. And they won't understand why you're not happy or why you don't want to go somewhere. And you're just going to have to try to explain it to them as best you can. But don't ever let them shame you. You have to do what's right for you and your mental health. They're not doing you any good if they're there shaming you and trying to call you out for being a bummer or a Debbie Downer or whatever you want to call it. And you need to let them know that. You need to let them know as kindly as you can that this is not simply being in a bad mood or pouting or whatever they want to call it. This is mental health, and this is you protecting your own mental health. And it is a vital need that you have in your life. Some people will understand, some people won't. And you can't take that blame on yourself if somebody doesn't understand you. That is not your problem. Your main priority is you and taking care of yourself and making sure that you can get through the holidays without too much mental damage and hopefully zero physical damage. Anxiety hits a lot of us in big gatherings when the family's around. Sometimes people like me, we isolate ourselves. We go into a room where there's not so many people, and we'll look at our phones, or we'll read a book, or listen to music, or something like that, and just hope nobody comes in there and tries to start up a conversation. I know that feeling very well, And if that's what you got to do, then that's what you got to do. And if it makes you feel better to make up an excuse, like I have a stomach ache or I have a headache or, anything like that, instead of saying I'm depressed and I need space, or I've had too much people right now and I need to decompress a little bit, some folks aren't going to understand that, especially some of the older folks. So if you need to make up an excuse that they will understand, don't feel bad about that. Do it. Whatever gets you in and out of the situation without hurting feelings or without hurting yourself or making yourself feel worse. Thanksgiving's tough for me now, even though I do work. I work in a job I'm not really fond of. So, there's that. But at the same time, I'd still have time to think. And so I want to encourage you all, support each other, be there for each other, and just make it through. It's just another day. Although memories and feelings crop up on that day that we can't seem to control. I get it. But in reality, the day is no longer than any other day, and we'll get through it. And we'll come out the other end, and there will be better days in the future. So I want to wish all of you a happy Thanksgiving, a peaceful Thanksgiving, and hopefully you guys will make it out the other side unscathed, mentally, physically, and emotionally. You guys are not alone. We fight alone, true, but we fight alone together. Stay supportive, stay strong, keep your head up, do what you got to do to get through the holiday. And I'll see you on the other side.